Evan Donovan, who joins us this morning from Kill Devil Hills.
Evan, how are things looking out there right now?
Jay, right now it looks pretty amazing, actually. There are worse assignments to have, I've got to tell you, than being stationed at Kill Devil Hills on the Outer Banks at 4th of July weekend. You know, this could definitely be referred to as the calm before the storm. Right now, everything's great. It's balmy, maybe a little windy, as you could tell there from that beach ball that's been blowing around all morning. But right now, it's actually pretty nice out here. We know that the hurricane warning is in effect for pretty much all of the North Carolina coastline. Obviously, you heard there from Julie that the storm is expected to reach Category 1 sometime later today, and it's just below a hurricane right now. National Weather Service says that the wind's reaching about 70 miles per hour. That has caused as we know, that evacuation of Hatteras Island by Dare County emergency management officials. We also know the Outer Banks Tourism Agency was expecting about 250,000 people to be visiting the Outer Banks for this 4th of July weekend. Not sure what's going to happen with that. We know that stores we talked to yesterday when we got here yesterday afternoon said they saw a run on generators and batteries and flashlights, things like that people would be stocking up on for the storm. But we also went and grabbed a burger at the famous Kill Devil Hills frozen custard shop. And, you know, the people there were pretty much mixed. Some of them said they'll make sure to be out of town by Friday morning. Others said that they were going to ride it out and make sure that they were here throughout the storm because they wanted to enjoy their 4th of July. Coming up in the next half hour, we'll tell you why the Outer Banks is no stranger to these types of storms. For now, we'll kick it back to the newsroom. Jay and Holly, pretty nice out here for right now.
We continue our live team coverage with News 13's Evan Donovan at Kill Devil Hills.
So, Evan, what's happening right now where you are?
Well, it's absolutely gorgeous here. I know that this is the calm before the storm. We've just now heard that Arthur's turned into a hurricane. But right now, it's just like a beautiful beach morning. We're expecting a fantastic sunrise just behind me sometime in the next hour. Obviously, we'll bring that to you live. And for right now, it's really nice out here. We spoke to a bunch of people yesterday who were out in Kill Devil Hills and around the Outer Banks, most of whom said that they were going to hunker down through this storm. A few said they would make sure they got out by Friday morning. But as you know, for people who visit this place often and for people who are residents here, these types of storms are nothing strange to them. In fact, we have some video of Hurricane Irene. That was back in 2011 in late August. A pretty deadly storm. 7 people died from that storm. 1.2 million people lost power at certain points throughout. We also know that 7,500 people had to be sheltered in 81 different shelters all around. You know, obviously that's a pretty serious storm, and that was just three years ago. We do know that, you know, later today and maybe sometime tomorrow morning is when we expect this storm to hit here at some point on the Outer Banks. But as I said, most of the people around here are pretty excited about their 4th of July weekend, and it doesn't seem like they're going to be dissuaded even by a hurricane, which by the Outer Banks standards is hopefully going to be pretty light.
We continue our live team coverage with News 13's Evan Donovan at Kill Devil Hills.
Evan, what can you tell us is happening where you are? It looks pretty nice.
Great, actually. Yeah, things look great out here. Actually, it's absolutely beautiful. We're expecting this sunrise to come up right over my shoulder at 5:48 today, and as you can tell already, it's going to be fantastic. We've just started to see some people come out on the beach. They're walking around. Everyone seems to be enjoying themselves. You can probably see a couple over here to my right. And you know what? We also found this when we got down here on the beach just a few minutes ago. These are some fireworks. These are illegal, kids. Not supposed to use these in North Carolina. But clearly people here are having fun. And why not? Because it's absolutely gorgeous. Balmy, about 80 degrees, a nice wind coming through. Doesn't feel like we're about to get hit with a storm. But of course, we know that more than likely we are at some point around this time, probably tomorrow morning. But for right now, people are really just enjoying their 4th of July weekend. We've seen a lot of visitors come to the Outer Banks. We know the tourism agency is expecting about 250,000 people for this weekend. And for an area that gets hit with storms a lot, we know that having people come, and whether they come or not for 4th of July, is a big deal to all the business owners down here. We had a burger and some fries and frozen custard yesterday at a famous place in Kill Devil Hills, and the owners were telling us that basically they really hope people are still going to come down and try to ride through this storm. Hopefully, if it only gets up to a Category 1, it won't be that bad, and people can still enjoy themselves and enjoy their 4th of July weekend, because obviously it is a great weekend with 4th of July falling on a Friday to be able to enjoy yourself here in the Outer Banks. And for right now, it's fantastic. Toss it back to you guys in the studio.
Right now, News 13's Evan Donovan continues our team coverage live from Kill Devil Hills.
And Evan, people are already being forced to evacuate parts of the Outer Banks.
Yeah, that's exactly right. In fact, we've got a state of emergency for all 26 coastal counties here, including a price gouging law put in effect yesterday by Attorney General Roy Cooper, making sure nobody up and down the supply line takes advantage of consumers in times of disaster like this one. It's a beautiful morning here right now. You can see this gorgeous sunrise right behind me. The question is, what's it going to look like here 24 hours from now? We know that Tropical Storm Arthur is now Hurricane Arthur, and it's moving its way up the coast. The question is, will it hit us here in the Outer Banks? I can tell you that there's a lot of people on the beach this morning walking around, taking advantage of what is a gorgeous sunrise and beautiful beaches here in the Outer Banks. But the preparations are serious. We know that stores nearby have had a run on generators, flashlights, light bulbs, all the things that you would need leading up to a storm. We spoke to a number of people yesterday. Some said that they were going to make sure that they got out of the storm's way by Friday morning. Other people saying that they were going to hunker down and try to ride through it. The Outer Banks Tourism Agency was expecting about 250,000 people for this 4th of July weekend, and a great weekend it would be with 4th of July falling on a Friday. But obviously, if we get major hits from this storm tomorrow morning, that could seriously affect business here. And this is an area that is very used to seeing storm damage. Hurricane Irene back in 2011, 7 deaths, 500,000 people without power, up to 1.2 million people during the height of the storm. So obviously this is an area familiar with getting hit by hurricanes. The question is, what's it going to look like a day from now? We'll send it back to the studio, but for right now, reporting live in Kill Devil Hills, Evan Donovan with News 13.
News 13's Evan Donovan in Kill Devil Hills.
Evan, it looks calm there right now, but how are people getting ready?
Yeah, it is calm here right now. You can see some people walking up and down the coastline right behind me, enjoying what's been a beautiful sunrise and a beautiful morning. But as you said, the question is, what is it going to look like a day from now when we expect this Hurricane Arthur, which has just been upgraded, as Julie told you, about 5 a.m. this morning from a tropical storm? What's it going to look like here then? You know, this 200-mile stretch of coastline in the Outer Banks is no stranger to big storms. We had Irene back in 2011, Isabel in 2003, all of which caused major damage, including on Highway 12, which has breached multiple times over the past few years and cuts off all access to some of those lower islands in the Outer Banks. People here are getting prepared. We've seen stores have runs on generators and flashlights and batteries. People are obviously taking this very seriously, and they should be. The National Weather Service issuing a hurricane warning for all of the North Carolina coastline from pretty much the northern part of the state almost down to Wilmington. We also know that the state of emergency and the price gouging law has been put into effect for the 26 coastal Carolina counties. Attorney General Roy Cooper putting that price gouging law into effect yesterday to make sure people who are preparing for this disaster don't get ripped off by any retailers, and that goes up and down the supply chain. So a lot of preparations taking place here. People are taking this very seriously, and they should, because we don't know what it's going to look like tomorrow morning, but we do expect that hurricane to make landfall sometime around 5 to 7 a.m. tomorrow on Friday morning. Reporting live from Kill Devil Hills, I'm Evan Donovan for News 13.